Not yet. Hi everyone, welcome to Kats Creations live on Friday night, where tonight, as promised, I'm going to teach you how to do the Americana Bunting Swag Grapevine. I think that's all and it's patriotic. So what you're going to need is an 18-inch grapevine. You're going to need a 20, I think this was 21 feet, believe it or not. It's a bunting, so it's not a flag, but it does kind of give a flag-like impression once it's finished. So I want to make sure that all the people who are watching know that this is not a legitimate flag. It's basically just a piece of material that's printed with tan and blue stars, a solid tan stripe, and then a solid, like it's a burgundy or a burnt reddish red. You're going to need a 2.5-inch ribbon that kind of coordinates with your bunting. So I'm using this, it's like a flag print almost. This came from Michael's. And then this one that's 1.5 inches with the stars and stripes, this came from Personally Yours on Etsy. You can also find it at Craft Outlet in the Wreath shop. To embellish it, I have some ivory, burgundy, and navy, Pip Berries and Rustic star picks that kind of look like this when you pull them out of the bag. There's also some that are what we call burgundy, like a mustard color, and navy blue. You can find all these at Factory Direct Crafts for your Pip Berries. The prices are probably better than what you would get someplace else. A little bit of raffia and a little bit of twine. And I think I've covered all of the materials list. So, I don't have my tablet, but that's okay. You can read the comments to me. Let me just go over the housekeeping really quick before I forget. If you like this design and want to replicate it once you get all the materials in, just click the share button if you're a Facebook user tonight, and that way it'll share this tutorial on your page. If you are new, let us know. We'd like to welcome you. Hopefully you can find a crafting connection here somewhere in your local neighborhood or your city. If you want to be notified when we go live, make sure you click the like and follow button. Now, once you do that, there's one other step, because Facebook's constantly changing things. So what you're going to want to do is once you've done that, click on, just tap your phone, your tablet, whatever, and then you're going to get 3 little dots in the upper right-hand corner. Go ahead and click those 3 little dots. And what you want to do is it'll say turn live notifications on if you have it off. If you already have it on, it'll say turn live notifications off. So you want to make sure it's on, and then you'll get notified when we go live. And I think I've covered it all. Oh, YouTube people, sorry, really quick. Yours is a little bit different because this is a replay. Just go ahead and hit the subscription bell in the upper right-hand corner. That way you'll be notified whenever we upload new videos. I'm sorry.
Hi, gals. Thank you everyone for watching. Feel free to like and share. Lynn said you got your hair done and it looks amazing.
Oh, thanks.
And it does look really good. Yeah.
It's one of those things where you just kind of have to carve out a little bit of personal space. It's been like 6 months, which is probably the longest I've gone in between. So, any other questions before I start?
Nope. Brenda Montgomery said, I'm a newbie. So hi, Brenda. Let us know what city and state you're from.
Yes, you might make a connection here.
Hi, Kylene. Hi, everybody.
Okay.
Friday.
So I did sell these buntings. I think I had like 40 or 42 of them at the very, I want to say February, March. That's how quickly they sold out. Like within 2 hours, they were all gone. And these are hard to come by because right now, with craft supplies being at a minimum, meaning they're sitting in container ships somewhere waiting to be offloaded, I don't know if I'll get any more in this year. More than likely, it'll be at the beginning of next year. You might find them on eBay. You can find something similar on Amazon, but it's more of the red, white, and blue. Or you could go to Joann's and just basically get, all you'll need is 21 feet of fabric that you want to swag onto your grapevine, and that will work as well.
Yep.
Okay?
A couple guys are asking where you got it, but of course that's your private goods, private contact you've got.
Yeah, so we're selling them and I think Annie's Treasures on Etsy may have some, but don't quote me on that. I think she had 8 left, but that was like a couple months ago. So these sell out fast when the Etsy shops stock them. So what you'll need is an 18-inch grapevine. Go ahead and get it all cleaned up. Make sure that you kind of run your hands back and forth over it. It's the easiest way to find where there's loose twigs that you might not see, like this one right here. And then go ahead and trim that up as best as possible. The great thing about this design is that about a half of it's going to be covered in the bunting, and then it'll kind of be pulled off to the side where we'll embellish it with a bow. We'll add some Pip Berries, some Raffia, just to kind of keep it very rustic looking. And then you can put it on your front door for all the patriotic holidays like Memorial Day, 4th of July, Veterans Day. Or the great thing about this design is if this is your home's decor, like a lot of people decorate in Americana, then this can stay up year round. So the most challenging thing, besides cleaning the grapevine, is swagging the swag. So I'll show you exactly. I leave it doubled because when you double it, it's a little thicker. It turns out to be a nicer quality. So this is it doubled. Eeks. Go ahead and gather these here. So it is, thanks, probably close to
6 feet.
Well, I'm
Probably
5 foot.
5.5 feet, yeah.
Yeah, about 5.5 feet, because we said it's 21 feet. So this is doubled. So I like to keep it doubled because it looks nicer. For those of you that purchased the bunting, you could technically cut it in half, and then you would be able to get 2 uses out of it. It's entirely up to you however you want to do it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is lay out your bunting, just like so. And you want more than half on the bottom, less than half on the top. So you're going to kind of, here's my middle, right where the fold is. So we want more than half. This is where we're going to go ahead and do it. So more than half on this side. So we're going to take our grapevine. I usually do it with the folded side on top and then the open ends, because remember mine's folded, to the side. This way it creates a nicer swag. So don't worry about ironing it and everything else, because you kind of want it to have that wrinkled look, because that's exactly what our intention will be. So when we do this, there's that. I think we'll need a little bit more. What you're trying to do is you want, once you pull this over, still not there. Now we're back into our more than halfway piece. Still need more. So let's see. Okay, do it this way. This might be easier. I need 14 inches on this side. So let me just go ahead and do this. And then it'll probably wind out perfectly, just like so. So you have to decide as a designer how much of the blue field, the tan field, and the burgundy or rustic red you want to show. You're not going to cover it completely like this, but there is a stitched hem on the top, stitched hem on the bottom. I don't like to see the stitching, so I usually will fold those over. So those are not things that I can see. It just doesn't look very nice. Just like this. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull it in an angle like this. And so the ones you're gonna see a lot on Etsy or everywhere else, they don't have a tight end. So like this will be like loosey-goosey. Same thing here. If you look like right now, it's an awful lot of the tan. I like to see more of the stars and stripes. So I'm going to take this and kind of pull this down, kind of pucker and pleat this one a little bit more.
Gathering it, right?
Yeah. It's a little hard to do that when you're just pulling a swag, but I'd rather have more of that. Again, we want to make sure we have 14 inches on this side, and I do. And then the only way to tighten the ends is to kind of pull here, but mostly pull on the back side. So pull on the back side right there at the corners, and it tightens this up. Same thing if I pull it here, it's kind of in vain. So if I grab it from the back and pull it on the back, see, there we go. You got the tan doing its thing again. I don't like a lot of the tan. That's just me. So now we should pull this tight enough. Let's see if we can get our blue. And I'm going to pull from the back. And I'm going to tighten up this side and this side. And what you need is enough here to go all the way around, just like this. So it needs to be enough to go all the way to the back side. So I just need a touch more. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this way, just a little bit more. Then you got to do all your regathers. So I'll pull this one up, just move it up. I've got to work with the grapevine branch pieces that are there. So now I believe I have enough.
I guess the good thing about this bunting is really once you clean the wreath, it's a really quick wreath to make, or bunting to make.
It is. So this is kind of the effect that you want. So I'll make sure I have more than enough to go all the way around. And I do. Because this is what you want. You need it to go all the way around to the back side. And this will be the swag that remains open on this end. So once you've got everything where you want it to be, it's as tight as you want, you're going to flip it over to the back side. And here's where we have our extra. Where did I put it? Here it is. You're going to cut off a piece of twine, and the twine's actually going to hold everything in place. So go right over here.
You could wrap it or tie it in a knot or whatever, right?
You could zip tie it. You could put a pipe cleaner on it. I'm trying to keep everything with the rustic feel to it. All it's going to do is hold it into place until we get the bow on it. So I just don't want it to slip around. And then I'm going to go back under, come back over here so that that knot does not go any further. I got one twig that's just sticking up. Okay.
Darcy Lee, chef, where do you get the fabric bunting? You said Annie's Treasures on Etsy?
You can try.
She might have some available.
Right now, this stuff sells out at the very beginning of the year, and I have not been able to get any more. So it's kind of like the Dollar Tree frames right now, where all the supplies are just like, it's so hard to get any. Okay, so from here, here's your swag that's going to hang down, and now we're going to go ahead and start embellishing. So, okay. So the easiest way to embellish is to put a bow on it. You could put a rustic star here if you're not like savvy with the bow making. Let's see, did you bring? I know you brought some stuff out, right?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't do the star though. Okay, so like Hobby Lobby sells the little wooden stars. You can kind of get that. You can embellish this kind of off to the side if you'd like this. Steve went to go get baby stars. I don't know if he'll find them. These are the buntings that you can purchase on Amazon. I want to say these are probably like $4 or $5. They're a vinyl material, and these are 20 feet long. So this would work in a pinch. I think we bought those last year when there was such a run on the buntings and trying to get those all in stock. Okay, so let's go ahead and start our bow while Steve's looking.
I had that other star over there. Did you want this one with the bigger one?
No, that's too big. You didn't have a little one over there.
Yeah, it was.
Did I miss it? Because I had this. You had the bunting, a tea stain flag, and a flag. Did I miss it? Nope.
I have it here.
So, we're going to go ahead and make the bow. So, you had this, Steve. This is what it was.
No, I had another small star.
Oh, no. No star. See? You can, it's fine. Okay, so with this one, you kind of don't want your tails to go too long, so we're going to do our tails at about 7.5 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and dovetail these, which is just bring the wired edges together. We're going to cut from the fold right down to that point. 7.5 inches. So right about here. The one thing you want to be careful of is it's so easy to make an oversized bow and then your bow is actually bigger than your bunting and wreath. So you need to keep the loop size small. Also the tail size small, because you don't want, you kind of want this, you know, the whole swagged effect to be something that stands out. So you don't want your tails to your ribbon or the loops of your bows being longer than that. So with this one being the stars and stripes, I want to kind of keep everything in the right orientation. So the minute I go to do the twist and flip, it puts my stars and stripes opposite of each other. So I'm going to do this in my hand. I know I need a 4-inch loop. So that means 8 inches. Now it seems really small, huh? But when you put it on here, then you're still like, okay, I see it. Both sides. So we're going to pinch that together. What?
I don't know what's happening.
He feels like he's losing his mind. We'll probably find it like afterwards. But seriously, no. Okay, another 8 inches. We're going to kind of do everything in our hand and just hold it here. And then I'm going to measure out another 7.5 inches. Thanks. Okay, there's that one. And now I'm going to just put it in the bow dabber to hold it. And now if you notice, everything is in the right, like the stars and stripes or the blue stars on top. And everything, like I don't have half of it going upside down. Okay, so we're going to go from...
That's awesome. Ann said, Kat, I made 2 of these from watching your tutorial. Love how it came out.
Nice. Okay, so there's one. It's going to be just a simple 2-loop. Oh no, I needed to put another one. Hey, hang on. Let's just change this one out. Because I was thinking about it, I needed 2 loops of each. So I'll just save that one for a different. So 7.5. And we need to do loops on both sides. So 8 inches. We're going to go 8 inches. Make sure everything stays the same. 8 inches. And another 8 inches. And then we'll do our tail. Kind of weird. This was just the pattern of the ribbon I picked. Normally you could probably do it in your bow dabber much easier. But I wanted 2 loops on both sides. So now I'll stuff it in here and then I'll get everything readjusted. Okay. This one, hold tight. Why is this one upside down? It needs to go this way, and then this way, then that way. Okay, now it's in there. Just had to give it a little help. And then we'll just flatten everything out. When you're working with smaller loops, it's a little bit more challenging. Okay, now I can do it. Okay, from the hold to your point. I'm going to pull a little bit more here. There we go. Straighten it all out. Kind of getting them, because they don't stack like a normal bow, you just kind of have to get everything in the right spot so that it's situated. And then, like this one, we can just do the whole thing right in the bow jabber, because we don't need to worry about whether or not everything stays in the same location.
Gina, how much have you sold these before in the past?
These generally will sell for $80. So I think the low end on them is probably about $45, but all it is a swag tied onto the grapevine, and that's it. But we're going to embellish this one quite a bit, and they go upwards to $125. Okay, so this one's actually going to get a 3-inch loop for the top, which is really small, but it's kind of what we need. And you'll see, the first time I did these, my bow loops were too big because it looked way too small here, but when you put it where it needs to be here, it needs to be small and compact.
So Debbie, this is just a different type of Americana, like Patriotic wreath. So this sells just as good as Deco Mesh, but it's good to have a lot of different types of product in your Etsy shop.
Yeah, I generally will sell more Americana than general, like Patriotic, like the standard red, white, and blue. Like that would be traditional. This is more rustic, more country. And this look has a tendency, for me, of selling more than your traditional colors. So it's good, like Steve says, to have a wide variety of different things. You can do Deco Mesh Americana, and my Deco Mesh Americana already sold, but my traditional one is still sitting. So that just shows you there's, I don't know.
A lot of the girls are saying, love your hair tonight.
Aw, thanks.
And then Susan said, I bought one, still a couple left. It said, for me, just under $30. I guess at that Amy's Treasures.
Okay, so yeah, raising the prices. So I think I was selling my bunting at was it $21, $22? I think it might have been a little bit more. They're just hard to find. Like you can try eBay, you can try Etsy, and you're just looking for a 21-foot Americana bunting. That's what it's called. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do our pipe cleaner for this. And then we're just going to fluff it right on the grapevine because there's not an awful lot to it. So the first thing you want to do is make sure all your tails are down to the bottom. And then you're going to take one loop and go high. I'm actually going to take the longer ones and go low. So one high, one low. Same thing. One high and one low. And then we're going to do the same thing with this, our 1.5 inches. We're going to go high and low. Oops. And then high and low. And then we will fluff accordingly. Okay, let's go ahead and get this on so you can see. Here's the size of the bow. It seems small, right? Because everything that we're doing is much bigger. But when you place this now on here, you still want to see the swag and you still want to see that it's still on a grapevine. So I'm going to kind of go half inside, half on the outside. Just need to get one down. That's why cleaning your grapevine's so important. Okay.
Oh, Susan said I have one, but I've been on a roll lately, so I'm gonna try to. Sometimes I paint the grapevine. That's interesting.
Yes, and you can do that. So if you want to do this a cream color or a nice ivory color, you can definitely paint your grapevines. Okay, so there is our bow with our swag. And then now we're going to embellish it with our Pip Berries. And the easiest way to generally do it is you can leave the entire pick in. I think these ones, let's see. I like this pick because they kind of did big berries and then small berries. So let me spread this one out. I might use this one. See how many are on here. 1, 2. I know, there's 4, 5.
Looks like at least a dozen.
11, 12. Yeah, I think there's 15. So let me just, I'm sliding it in to my grapevine just to look. And these are the ones that you will angle, but I'm just looking at them for placement and quantity right now.
That's 18-inch grapevine wreath, right?
Yes.
18-inch Debbie. And then Kara said, how many wreaths can you realistically expect to sell for the Patriotic?
A
So I
lot.
sold about 12 for Easter. And that's good for Easter.
That's really good for Easter. So just, you know, everyone, like, think about it from your perspective as, you know, a person who decorates your own home. You know, think about the types of wreaths that you buy and put on your door. Almost everyone puts a patriotic wreath on their door. Whereas some people won't generally go Easter, they might go spring. Some people go more religious than traditional, but patriotic can go, if you don't make it like Happy 4th of July and just leave it like God Bless America or something like that, then it becomes more popular because it's not just seasonally based. Does that make sense? I'm going to take these ones, just pull these out. I'm going to kind of go with a darker cream color like these. Thinking I'm liking these ones better. These ones actually have their little tea stained leaves on it. So generally what I do is I put one of these on top and one at the bottom. So I'll just kind of look at this there. And then 1, 2. We put 2 with, these have like little, I don't know if you can see, has like little metal stars.
Rusty stars.
Yeah, thank you, rustic stars. Attached to the bottoms of these. So I'm looking just for a placement. Because I kind of like the stars where I can wire them to like maybe the branch on the grapevine. And then we'll do the other one. I'll just trim the bottoms off. I'm going to tuck this one in here. So if you get really nice, decent picks, it makes it really super simple for you to do your embellishments. Thanks. Okay, I'm just kind of weaving because I like my stars to be like, the fact is I'll probably take both of these once I get ready to glue everything down. And I'll just leave my stars to where I can fasten them to this big branch right here. And then the bottom becomes the same. So these Pip Berries, the way you can tell a really good Pip Berry is if you can take them at the very end and bend the tips. So if the tips bend, those are great Pip Berries. If the tips don't bend, see like how these want to spring back? They don't want to stay in their shape. These are like, they're okay, but they're not as good.
They're not fully wired.
Yeah, all the way down to the ends, and that's kind of what you want. So I'm going to do this one. We'll kind of come down in here. And I'm just laying them for placement. You can push them down a little bit further. You can have some of them come up a little higher. Still trying to find where my star is. This one went low, so we'll leave this one be higher. So this will go a little lower. Okay, I'm going to actually glue these in, and then I'm going to maneuver them wherever I want. So I'm going to take the ones with the rusty stars out first. I'm going to take this entire pick. I'm going to cut off the end. I have my glue skillet handy. So I'm going to put a really big dollop of glue on there.
And now these picks are not from Hobby Lobby. They are from
Factory Direct.
Factory Direct Outlet.
Yeah, I think is it Factory Direct Outlet or Factory Direct Crafts? It's one or the other. I'm going to do the same thing here. And these are just sliding right down into my grapevine. So I'm just, rather than place them individually, like cutting them all apart, it's just easier to leave them in the bundle and then just to separate the bundle. Okay. There we go. Now let's glue these ones in on the bottom. I know it looks funky right now. Trust me, it'll work out.
FactoryDirectCraft.com.
Is that what it is? Okay. They have a lot of really nice rustic stuff. So very, like if you have a lot of customers that like country decor, this will definitely, you know, ring true to them. So I'm just snipping all these ends off because I don't need that much wire. Plus, if I don't, those have a tendency of kind of popping back up on the other side. So this one, my star's low. Okay. I just messed up my bow. Okay, this one, we're gonna aim this one a little bit higher. And now we will separate and get everything where it needs to wind up. So we're going to start here at the top. And generally what I try to do is, if it's red, white, blue, I try to put those in the right order. So we have like the red, trying to find the white on the stem, which is a shorty stem. And if it's too short, it just looks unattractive to have a wire out there by itself. So I'll just trim these off. So here's our red. Here's our white. Here's a longer blue. Here's our red with the star. Now, since our star is already wired, it has a piece of wire on it. I'm actually going to attempt, if I can get it there. Probably not. Let me get a smaller gauge wire.
I think you have the brown wire too, right?
I might.
Thank you, Diane. She said, hi, Kat. So good to see you. Miss seeing you.
So did we. It's just been an exhausting and very fatiguing week. It feels like it's been 2 weeks, hasn't it, Stu?
Yeah.
I think it's 2 weeks now. So I'm just taking my brown floral wire and I'm kind of fastening the metal star where I need it to stay, which is just right on top of this branch. And so I have floral wire that's kind of a rusted color. So that's what I'm using. So that it will stay where I need it to stay. And then we're going to do the same off to the side here. We will trim these up so that we don't have unsightly little picks with no ends. Here's our other star.
Vicky said, "Ooh, I got one of the buntings. Now they're sold out."
See?
Good
I
for you,
told
guys.
you. I'm sure she probably appreciates it. It's like, God, every time she does that thing, because I always refer everybody over there, I'm like,
She sells out.
She sells out. Yeah. And then that's pretty much it for the season, which kind of sucks because it's like, well, we haven't really started the whole patriotic thing yet. Yeah. Okay. There's that one. So I'm just taking the little pip berries that have like the little ends where there's nothing. I just don't think they look very attractive. So I'm just bending these, kind of following the grapevine pattern along. Here's my other star. This one, thankfully, has more than enough wire already on it. So I can just loop this over and around.
Pam, awesome. She says I made several of these with 3 different fabrics from Hobby Lobby. So yeah, I'm sure you could find them where it's just the stars or beige or red, and you could probably, if you needed to, sew it together and
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just make sure if you're listing it on Etsy that you tell people this is not an American flag, because otherwise you'll get lots of hate mail of people telling you proper flag techniques and you shouldn't be using flags to do that.
Yeah, there's so many different ways to do this. Carrie said I was able to get an infinity scarf like this at CVS.
Oh, nice.
More traditional, red, white, and blue, but similar.
And I was going to say, there are people who do that too. They have the patriotic scarves that will work. So it's just being creative.
And Valerie said I will make my own and tea dye it. I have tons of patriotic fabric.
That is great. Yeah. I love the fact that you guys, can do that. I think at that point I'm like, when it starts to come into dyeing my fabric, it's like bread makers who are like, when it comes to grinding my own flour and grain is when we're going to tap out. So that's how it is for me. I like it, just a little too much work. So I'm just reorganizing all my pip berries where I want them to fall. This one's got a little too long. So I like to, as they come, they follow the grapevine, I'll pull the insides and outsides so they follow the circular motion of the wreath. And then on the outside, I'll just have them occasionally, just kind of doing their own thing off to the side. Okay, this one, we need to wire this one in. The only thing you really have to wire in, unless you have a really stubborn pip berry that won't go where you want him to stay, then you can just wire that branch in. But in this particular case, I have a star, but no branch. So I need him to stay. So I don't have a free floating star out in the okay. There we go. Now he's got movement. What questions do you guys have so far? If you have any questions.
Oh, a lot of gals are just saying, they're going to just go online and try to find
more bunting.
Gene, the pip PIP berries are from factorydirectcraft.com. They have all different types.
Okay, that's this one. I'm going to pull this one off to the side.
Pip, PIP. Mm-hmm. As in pippins.
Yeah. Okay. Cleaning up my ends. This.
Sandy said, Kat, thanks for mentioning the King and Country group. Been listening to them and love them.
I love them too. I was telling Steve, I hope the concerts resume this year. I wanted to go last year, but 2020. And then they were in, like, out of the box thinking. They started doing concerts and drive-thrus, or drive-ins. So, yeah, a lot of people got to see them just by going to a drive-in. Okay.
And the grapevine is from Joanne, 18-inch.
Yes. Went to 3 places today to try to find 18-inch grapevines. Hobby Lobby had 0. Well, no, let me correct that. The little 4-inch paw print ones. They also had everything under the sun but a grapevine. Then I went to Michael's. Michael's had nothing. Then I went to Joann's and it was the last 3. And Joann's had grapevines, 3 for $10 on any size grapevine. So I was like, oh, that's a good deal. I will definitely do that. Okay. So all I'm going to add to this is we're going to add a little touch of raffia to our bow. And we'll finish it off with the metal star. And we're basically done. So you can also order the rusty stars. These are they all the same? These are 1.5 inches. You get 100 of them. So they are all various degrees of rustiness. Some are really rusty, like 2 different color rust. But we're going to finish that off and add our star to the center. But we need to make a quick raffia bow. So let's see. Because everything has to be different size-wise. So let's try it this way. And see how it all lays out. Not this side. I need to bring this side down. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and finish these. I'm actually going to undo my bow and just add my raffia to this, so that way I don't have to glue it to the center. This is when you find out you really did a good job twisting your bow on.
Or you glued the pips to the...
No, I'm fortunate I did not do that. So, okay, I don't want to undo the whole thing. So, raffia.
Ravina asked, where did you get the stars?
Same place.
Factorydraftcraft.com.
Yeah, if you just type in rustic home decor, you'll find a ton of stuff there. Pip Berries in every conceivable color that you can imagine. There we go. You need that rustic look to it still. Let me go ahead and grab. I'm looking for my other. There it is. Okay.
Gail McNown said, any of this where we could buy bunting, love it. Just check Etsy, check Amazon, check even eBay.
eBay, I think, is where we found them last year, because I was like, where did we find those last year?
Just type in all different, searches.
Yep.
Americana, Patriotic fabric, Americana fabric.
Yeah, at this stage, it seems like your best bet's probably going to be, getting really super creative and just creating one with a piece of fabric. Because that was going to be like my answer to what happens if I can't find one. It's going to be, well, I'll just go buy fabric and I'll stitch my fabric together in order to get it to be the way I want. Okay, we're almost done.
It's factorydirectcraft.com.
There we go. So just added just a little bit.
There might be a factory direct outlet too. I don't know. Let me see.
I know Gail said she was gonna. Gail said she was tired. She didn't think she'd make it. Okay. Let's add our rusty star.
No, it's factory direct craft.
Is it factory direct craft?
Yeah, .com.
Yeah. Okay. So this is where I kind of need my glue gun a little bit. So you have to get creative and think outside the box of how are you going to attach your star. Are you going to stay? No. The great thing is they have holes in the top. Because each star has it's got its own little hole. So if you wanted to add more stars around your design, you can definitely do that. I'm going to just take mine and add my star to my bow. Once I figure out where it needs to go. Okay, I have my raffia in there with that. Small fingers. There we go. Glue gun would have been so much more quick. But I know this.
There you go.
It won't come off.
Running for $25 on eBay.
What's that?
The bunting.
The bunting. See?
Yeah.
You just have to, you know, never, if you're looking for something and you want it, you just have to, like, you know, get innovative. Yeah, in where you go to look. You know, I think a lot of us don't think eBay is an option, but I've found quite a few things that, you know, we're looking for that were discontinued on eBay. Okay, let's pull this one up. And refluff the bow. Okay. I'm trying to get my loops where I want the loops on my raffia. And the tails at the bottom. The tails.
No, this is not a flag. This is bunting. It's like fabric.
Yeah.
Bunting fabric.
It's just one long piece. 21 inches long, just like this. So, and I
think it's actually 11 feet.
No, it's 21 feet.
Can't be.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to look at that one? That one's 20 feet. Yeah. So I'm going to cut all my tags off. Just because you don't want to see.
11 feet or 12 feet. Because when you doubled it, it was 6 feet long. You doubled it. That makes it 12.
Yep. I know. Trust me. Okay. We're all done. We are all set. We are ready to go. We'll put it up on the door. Show you how big this looks on an average 36-inch door. Super simple. And it depends on how you want it. Some people like it to swag, like at an ankle. Some people want it straight up and down. It's entirely, oop, my door's moving. Lock my door in place. There we go. And there you go. Super simple. Just something nice but simple for all the patriotic holidays. And I'm just just gonna take a couple of these. My door is still moving. See, it still wants to do this. Hold on a second. There you go. Okay.
It's gonna move a little bit.
Yeah, I'm like, when I want to pull on it, I don't want to pull my door.
It's called Americana Bunting Fabric or Americana Fabric.
It's just called Americana Bunting is exactly what it's called. Because a bunting is like...
It's the half.
Yeah, the half swags. So that's what it's used for, is like on porches or your fireplace mantle. It's to create those little loopy swags. So that's called bunting. And that's the easiest way to find it. But you can search for it under like a scarf. The infinity scarf's a little iffy because there's no open end. It's all connected unless you cut one of the ends, because
Right.
like here, I like it to be open.
So you can see the back of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Here's the back, just like so.
Yep.
Although it's got grapevine debris. I'm sitting there trying to get it to sit on my door. There we go. Now it'll stay. It's got that. We got that really big hook on there.
David, there's some people that get offended if you actually use a flag.
Well, you're not supposed to use it for decor.
For decor, right.
It's meant to be outside or like on display. So I just make sure that my verbiage in my listing is, this is not a flag, this is a bunting. So it's just one long piece of continuous fabric. And this is literally what it looks like. So it's blue, tan, and red. It's probably maybe 3 feet, 3.5 feet. Like, no, it can't be 3.5 feet. I don't know. What does that look like to you, Steve?
Yeah, it's probably 4 feet by...
This right here?
That's probably, no, I mean, that's probably 2 feet.
Yeah.
So
I'm thinking width-wise. But I like it to have more of the stars and stripes.
Right.
That's just my preference. Do you guys have any questions that I can answer for you? It's a super simple design that, like I said, if you get your Pip Berries to where everything is in one big pick, you can just insert that, maneuver your Pip Berries around. It beats cutting them off and doing them one by one by one, and then wiring in all your metal stars. I think Factory Direct Crafts, like I said, has them in, because this would have worked too. If we would have added the mustard, I think it's mustard, navy, and burgundy. You could have played this off because the mustard is similar to the leaves and the florals, but cool. Okay. So, Wreath of the Month people, I meet with you tomorrow as we put together our March kit, which is the Ladybug kit. If you guys want to join my private group, we do 8 classes a month. It's 4 design classes, 4 business classes. We meet on Sundays at 3 and Mondays at 5 Pacific time. Wreath of the Month group has its own separate listing. It's $10 to join the Wreath of the Month group. It's $17 to join the private group. The Wreath of the Month group, basically what it enables you to do is order an exclusive kit that you can't buy anywhere else. All of the signs are exclusive to the Wreath of the Month group members. Both of those are on the KatsCreationsNMore, the letter N, just like the bottom of the sign, .com. The first one you come to is Wreath of the Month. The second one is Kats Creations private group. And that's pretty much it. What are you doing? Typing?
Tagging it, yeah.
Tagging it? Okay. So I will see you guys in the public group Sunday at 6 Pacific, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern time. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.